Okay, sorry for the interruption. That was the class cat distracting all of us. Let's keep it going. So Tom just read the quote and was talking about how numeracy was important because it helps students develop the knowledge and skills to use mathematics confidently across all of the learning areas at school. And he was talking about different areas that we could use numeracy outside of the maths classroom. Now, just a couple more points as to why it's important, why it's significant for numeracy to be used in English. We have to be incorporating it as much as possible because poor numeracy has been found to severely limit successful transitions from school, subsequent work opportunities. It contributes to low self-esteem, poor health prospects, and lack of social and political participation. So if you've got very low numeracy skills, this does forecast a pretty bleak future. So we need to be making sure that as teachers in every KLA we're incorporating the opportunity for students to practice these skills. And lastly, we need to use numeracy in English because using mathematical skills across the curriculum enriches the study of other learning areas, in this case English, and contributes to the development of a broader and deeper understanding of numeracy itself. Therefore, a commitment to numeracy development is an essential component of the learning areas across the curriculum and a responsibility for all teachers. And that is from ACARA. A lot of these quotes have been from the syllabus or from ACARA itself. And so they're basically saying for the students to understand maths, science, English, we need to be incorporating literacy and numeracy across all these areas. Okay, so some examples of how you can incorporate numeracy in English. Now this is where things kind of come down to brass tacks because a lot of people, probably a lot of us as students would have doubted how you could actually use numeracy. So if I could get someone to volunteer to read the first quote on how you can use numeracy in English, some examples. Yes, Tom?
Sure. Understanding the implied mathematical ideas behind visual organisers, such as Venn diagrams and flowcharts, helps students to make more effective visual choices in their own texts.
Exactly, that was good. So it helps us to use ideas from numeracy and maths to help us understand visual organisers like Venn diagrams and flowcharts. And that flows on to the student's ability to create more effective visual texts. Alright, so students in later stages, so this is maybe stages 5 and 6, they will learn about analytical images like figures, tables, diagrams, maps and graphs. So these are students that are learning these things in numeracy and in maths at this point. And those things correlate directly to English as it stands at the same stages. So it would be talking about how figures, tables, diagrams, maps and graphs can affect and complement verbal information, or for that matter written information like essays, in factual and persuasive texts. So being able to understand, draw information from and implement mathematical ideas and mathematical skills can really benefit students' results in English, especially in the later stages. One more example, one that I found quite interesting was this one. A study showed how one teacher made the connection between the geometrical expression of foregrounding to its use as a literary device by initiating a whole class discussion about prioritizing and highlighting importance in an advertising text. So she's talking about what things are in the foreground, where are these things located, why is this sentence in the middle of the ad, why is the woman's face off to the side, why is the woman's face in the middle. So she's talking about foregrounding, geometrical location and expression, and these are actually mathematical concepts that are heavily connected to numeracy, but they're directly correlating to students' ability to understand a text like an advertisement or a film scene for that matter. So from all of this we can see that English teachers can and should make use of mathematical knowledge within the context of an English lesson. So now we're going to actually put this into practice in a little bit of a meta way. What we're actually going to do is I've got a list of things and we are going to figure out which things belong in which section. So this is what? Does anyone know what this is? There's a bit of a clue on the top.
It's a Venn diagram.
Yeah, it's a Venn diagram. So two areas in two circles, and where the two circles combine, that's where something that relates to both can go. And this is a heavily numeracy related technique, and we use this all the time in English. So let's actually do this together. So I won't write it on there, but I'm going to read out something and I want you to tell me where it should be using this Venn diagram. Numeracy on the right, numeracy on the left, literacy on the right, and both in the middle. Tell me where you think each of these terms should be. Exclusively left, exclusively right, or both. Times tables. Where does times tables go?
Exclusively left.
Excellent, that's correct. Times tables, seldom used in English, almost always used in numeracy. Algebra.
Numeracy.
Excellent, yep, so that's exclusively in numeracy. Calculus.
Numeracy.
Numeracy. Long division.
Both.
No, that's that's numeracy. So all of those things are just in numeracy. What about creative writing?
Literacy.
Literacy? That's correct. Spelling?
Both.
No, that would stick to literacy because those are exclusively related just to letters. Oh, whoopsie. Okay, sorry, just get that back up. And reading out a speech.
Literacy.
Literacy, that's correct. Now we get into some of the tricky ones. And what I need you guys to do is to think back to the PowerPoint that we just did. And that's going to give you some help as to where these next few tricky ones, which aren't completely clear, might belong. So, analytical figures.
Both.
Why?
Because they can be used in either numeracy or literacy. To be analytical, you must explain it, which uses letters, yet the numbers itself are numeracy.
Yeah, good. Maps.
Both.
Both, excellent. Geometrical expression.
Both.
Good job. Foregrounding.
Both.
Good job. Tables.
Both.
Good. Charts.
Both.
Good. Geometrical location.
Both.
There we go, see? And we've got, and last of all, this is a bit of an easy one, Venn diagrams.
Both.
So, we can see from this, putting it into practice, you can see that there are some things which are exclusively related to numeracy, some things which are exclusively related to literacy. But as you can see from the long list of ones we just went through, there are a lot of things that are common to literacy and numeracy and can be used very easily in an English classroom by any teacher. Okay, so we're going to go on to the second half of our assessment of our presentation now, and we are going to talk about assessments. Okay, give me a bit of a delay. Okay, assessment. Now, it's never anyone's favourite word, but we're going to go into why it's so important to support learning today. So assessments, according to the syllabus, it is the process of collecting and interpreting information about students' learning. And the purpose of it is to indicate the knowledge, understanding and skills expected to be acquired by most students by the end of a stage as a result of effective teaching and learning. And to use the syllabus of outcomes as key reference points for decisions about students' progress and achievement. So all that sounds really heavy and really serious, but it's a very significant definition. It shows us exactly what the syllabus means when it says that assessments are necessary to support student learning. So, how exactly do assessments support student learning? According to Fal Chico, so her details will be in the bibliography, they facilitate. Can I get someone to read out my bullet points? Anyone want to read it out? Yep, Tom?
Selection.
Yep, good.
Maintaining academic standards.
Yes.
Motivation of students and information for them.
Yep.
Feedback to students and teachers.
Yep.
And preparation for life.
Yep, so those are pretty clear things that explain to us why assessments are needed. They have a purpose, and that purpose is to support student learning through selection for specifically for classes where students need to be grouped with a particular group of students that excel more in science or excel more in English so that they can learn at the same level together. Assessments are needed to maintain academic standards, to give motivation and feedback, and to show students how to complete certain activities and skills that they're actually going to have to be able to do in life. Now, think of it this way. I guess we'll focus further in on exactly how you would define the purposes of assessment. So, the purpose of assessment can be separated into two different types of assessment. Now, definitely get your thinking caps on now because we're going to test this shortly. So let's be making sure you're reading along with me. So, summative assessments are where students are graded at the end of a module, unit or course for diagnostic or certification purposes. And formative assessments are when the results of an assessment are used for feedback. So, the significance of these two assessments types, the significance of assessment changes depending on what kind of assessment type it is, because each type, summative or formative, has a different purpose and a different way to support student learning. I like to think about it this way, and so does Stiggins, who is again in the bibliography. Assessments generally help people to know where they're going, which is what, Tom?
Formative.
Good. Know where they are now, which is what?
Summative.
Summative, yes.
Summative.
Yeah, good. And know how to close the gap, which means feedback. So formative is telling students where they're going. It's ascertaining at what point they are in their learning in a certain topic and what they could improve on and what their strengths are. Summative tells students what they're up to now. Have they achieved the standards set for their stage? Have they excelled with those standards? Knowing where you are is very useful for students to know. And knowing how to close the gap between where they are now and where they are going is crucial. So, what we're going to do now is watch a short video and then we're going to do a Kahoot. So, the first thing I will get you to do, Tom, if you could go and get your phone for me, please. And you are going to go, or my phone, doesn't matter. Pause. Normally students would have their phones on them at all times. Hurry! Okay, so you are going to open up Safari and go to kahoot.it. Okay. Okay, so you've got your laptop out. We're going to do a Kahoot, so that's a short quiz. And we're going to watch a short video. So watching this, it's going to revise what we just did. And after this, we're going to do a quiz. Apologies, I can't get rid of that. You can keep watching. I'm going to watch the end of this and then we're going to do the quiz. It's cutting off a few bits, but that's just testing your knowledge, I guess. So that is formative, that is summative. Formative, summative. Formative and summative. Groovy, that background music, isn't it? Alright, so by now you should be at kahoot.it and you enter.
Created using Powtoon.
It was created using Powtoon. I can see you already, so you just need to enter a name. You have? Yep, good, excellent. Oop. Okay, so we're going to start. Awesome. One player, that's all we need. Okay, 10 questions. It will come up on your phone. You've got to press the correct answer. Help students know where they're going. So each of these will have a feature of either summative or formative assessment. Correct, formative. Help students know where they're going. Alright, next. Ooh, look, Columbia 862. Getting some points. Students are graded at the end of a unit for diagnostic or certification purposes, formative or summative. Correct. Summative. Going well so far. 1890. That's some pretty amazing points. Okay, help students know where they currently are. Is that formative or summative? Correct. Correct, summative. Wait, no. Oh, you didn't do it?
I think summative.
Yeah, that's correct. Oh, that's my mistake?
I'm wrong. That's right, I'm wrong.
That's my mistake. Mrs. Green accidentally put in the wrong answer. It's okay. None of us are absolutely perfect. This assessment gives results that are used for feedback. Correct. Formative. Okay, we're back on the right track. I haven't put any more incorrect answers in. Alright, our final essay is what? Formative or summative? Quick answering. Very good. Okay, summative. That is correct. Scoreboard Columbia 3890. You're doing well. Alright, a creative writing piece after the first few lessons is formative. Correct. Knocking it out of the park. Okay. An assessment of learning is what? Formative? Summative. Correct. It's a little bit of a curly... Oh no, you got it wrong. Yes. Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad. Yes. So assessment of learning is summative because it tells you where you are.
Falling.
Yeah. Alright, 5049. That's lots of points. An exam that determines selection is what? Summative. So those kind of things determine selection for people to go into different classes or even schools. Alright. Students drawing a mind map to show their current understanding of a topic is what? Excellent. It is formative. So it's showing what they think they know currently, and that will help the teacher fill in their blanks. An assessment for learning is what? An assessment that helps learning. Formative. Exactly. So formative is all about feedback. Just remember, formative feedback. Now, summative can give feedback, but for formative it is probably the defining quality. So formative assessments give teachers a chance to give students feedback. And I know we only had one player, but yay! Columbia won! Yay! Okay. And that is all. 8 correct, 2 incorrect. Pretty good. I can see you guys are paying attention. So, let's finish up there. And that is the end of my tutorial, but I am willing to answer any questions you guys have. Any official questions? No questions? Nothing about other examples of summative or formative assessments? No questions at all?
Do maths teachers use... How would a maths teacher use a formative assessment?
So probably what a maths teacher would do would be, after the students had done a couple of units, they would probably have something like a short test with just a few questions on each unit the students had studied, and then when they got the responses back, when they got the assessments back from those students, they'd be able to say, okay, Nancy did very well in algebra, but I can see that she struggles with calculus, so I'm going to keep an eye on her calculus responses and her calculus work going forward. I will possibly give her some extra work to do at home. So basically what they would do, that maths teacher would take the results students get, figure out what the class needs to focus on going forward, and what they do well. Anyone else have any other questions about using literacy, numeracy in English or assessments? No more questions? Not one more question? No more questions? That's okay. That's okay. I know I pushed you guys today and you've done really, really well. Alright, so I think we might finish up there, but I've really enjoyed working in this tutorial with you guys. And one of you is randomly now going to go and turn the camera off. See you, Julie.